Hey everyone, Carol here. I want to talk to you today for those of you who are interested in being practitioners or feel like at some point that you would like to use your psychic or psi functioning in a manner that is beneficial for others. Okay. And I think one of the first things that I want to say to people is to really realize that you're going to have a niche with your abilities. We tend to think that okay, all mediums do the same kind of work. And I think that it took me a really long time to realize that that's true. Mediums all do connect with consciousness that is discarnate, right? Whether that's loved ones, guides, spiritual teachers, whatever it is that we want to term those discarnate consciousness sources. But ultimately, mediums do different type of work, right? Some specialize in connecting with members of the military, some connect in departed children, some just kind of see whoever's come up. I work with what I call people's spiritual teams because I know that information needs to come through to help them move forward in their life. That could involve mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, energetic issues. I am working with consciousness that's on the spiritual side to give them that insight because I don't want to do that from a psychic level. I want to trust their team to know that information. And so that still involves mediumship. So the point of this is for those of you that want to be practitioners, I don't want you to put yourself in a box because I did it for a really long time and I think too many people still do it. We see a psychic as only telling futures or only reading what's going on with the person. We see mediums as just telling departed loved ones, and we've put it into this box. And I want you to not think of it that way. I've seen so many people when they really blossom and start to figure out what they're here to do, just find really fascinating ways to make their psi applicable, okay? Because that's what it needs to be. It needs to be applicable. It needs to have value for others. And so when you figure out what's the value of your ability for others, that's when you move into that practitioner mindset. Says, what is my practice? We're all psychic to some degree or another. We could all develop it. But the question is how do you utilize it? You may want to utilize your psychic ability because you're a nurse and it makes you better able to care for your patients. You're able to use your psychic abilities in regards to what's connecting with them, right? And so that you can become a better servant for them. That's not hanging up your hat and saying, I'm going to be a psychic today, but you're using that in a very applicable, beneficial way. That's your niche. You may want to be a better teacher, right? A better mother, a better parent. I love to write, and so I use my psychic ability to become more creative or to catch information from spiritual side that I can bring forward to help people do things. So find your niche, find what works for you. Stop putting yourself in a box. I remember taking a class, and one of the things that the instructors had said is what's really the most important thing to understand with psychic ability is it needs to be useful for others. And that takes a period of time for us to understand how our abilities work and how we can make those useful for others. Truth be told, I'm still exploring that, especially when it comes to the nutritional aspects, where I want to continue to grow and expand and be able to make that useful. Because I can tell you all your symptoms, right? Let's say I tell you what your symptoms are, and you can go, yeah, right, okay. But that doesn't help you, okay? That's clearly a psychic functioning in the sense that I'm telling things specifically that are going on with you, and those are very important in the process. But how does that become applicable for someone? What's the next step? And so you may not be there in your development yet, which is why I said this is really addressed for those that are kind of in that developmental stage and know that they want to become a practitioner of some sort. Figure out how it's beneficial for you. Don't put yourself in a box and let that evolve over time. Because what I was doing 5 years ago is extremely different from what I'm doing now. So it will evolve and you will build and you will use these tools that you had over here. And again, I've really seen people kind of blossom in some really unique ways. So just keep honing your psychic abilities and figure out how they're useful for others. If you're not having those answers yet, nothing wrong with that. That's okay. Just keep doing what you're doing, keep growing, keep developing. Your niche will evolve. Just put it in the back of your mind that you want to figure out a way to make it applicable and useful to benefit others. Because ultimately, I do believe that improves your psychic abilities as well, especially when it comes to doing mediumship, because you have an intention to help others, not to harm others. And I do believe that the universe supports that intention. So put that out there. What am I here to do? How can I use this ability to help the people around me. Maybe it's just your family. Maybe it's animals, right? Maybe it's just to get messages to make it a better world. Maybe it's when you go to work, you just know what to say to somebody without knowing why it is that you need to say that. You don't need to hang up a sign that says, hey, I'm psychic, but you are, and you're utilizing that to benefit others. It's going to benefit you as well. So just remember, useful, psychic functioning, you're developing a niche, and be patient with yourself. It'll come in time. So thanks again. Until next time.